20s that there is nothing you can absolutely do to keep somebody in a relationship. I don't care what you do. You can do all the magic tricks in the world. You can cook, you can clean, you can do this, you can do that. You can hang on the chandelier, you can do back flips, you can do front flips. If the person don't want to be with you, they ain't gonna be with you. Did you know that the frontal cortex of the brain doesn't fully develop until the age of 25? That's why we're in our 20s being dumb, naive, and bamboozled. No wonder why we be making foolish decisions in our 20s. Duh. The first thing I wish I knew in my 20s is that I wouldn't have wasted so much time and energy trying to chase people's attention and validation, especially male validation. Trying to seek male validation or attraction, it's like trying to get a squirrel to pay attention. You know the attention span of a squirrel? That's exactly what it's equivalent to. It's like trying to get a goldfish to stay still, like to just pay attention. The attention that you're trying to get from them is very fickle. It doesn't last. What you think a guy likes and wants is always changing. Just because a guy shows you attention or gives you a compliment or wants to bang does not equal love, respect, and care. The attention and attraction that we so desperately try to get from male validation in our 20s is absolutely meaningless. So then you start to change who you are. You start to change your personality, the way you talk, the way you act, the way you say things, the way you do things. And in more drastic circumstances, you might go under the knife just so you can get this male attraction. The same energy that we use to try to attract the opposite sex is the same energy that we should put towards ourselves. Don't get fooled by the movies and the media and the music that show you, oh yeah, once you meet a guy and if a guy shows you interest, you're just supposed to just drop it like it's hot. No, that's a lie. That's a scam. They want us to be crazy out here, just popping it up left and right. No, if you can control your sexual energy, you would definitely win in your 20s. There is nothing wrong with practicing celibacy in your 20s because I feel like if you do that, you can focus more on yourself. And so if you're screwing everybody, you're draining yourself. Use that same sexual energy that you have in your 20s and put it towards something more productive that's going to better yourself. Stop trying to be every man's cup of tea in your 20s. It's not worth it. It's okay to leave a relationship that is no longer serving you or if it's toxic. Doesn't matter if a relationship ends, it doesn't matter. That's just the universe telling you that, you know what, this person's not for you. It's okay. Not the end of the world. You'll be fine. You'll be good. In your 20s, just remember that rejection is just protection and redirection. Which leads to the second thing that I wish I knew in my 20s is that it's okay to be in solitude. You don't need to always be surrounded by people 24/7 in your 20s. You need to sometimes practice solitude, be with yourself. Time to think, rejuvenate, be with your thoughts, your ideas, meditate, think clearly. Sometimes we assume that all these people that we're surrounded by wants the best for you, but that's not always the case. When you are constantly surrounded by toxic people and environments just so you don't want to be alone, that's definitely a problem. It basically means you don't love your own company. Like, are you trying to run away from yourself? What's going on? So if you can practice solitude in your 20s, believe me, you would do so much better. I know for me, I used to be up and about every day. I had to call somebody up like, hey, let's do this, let's do that. I never really took time to just sit down and take a break and rest. I was always up and out, just always hitting the road, always hitting the streets, always trying to figure out what party is next or what event to go to. It's okay to just chill, just relax, man. It's okay. You ain't gotta hit up every party. You ain't gotta go to every event, man. It's okay, just chill, relax. The third thing is stop trying to prove yourself to others. I would not have wasted so much time, energy, and money trying to chase degrees and occupations that I didn't really want. But I wanted them because I knew that it would make certain family members happy or society happy or my peers happy. But deep down, these are not like the occupations or degrees that I wanted. I wish I would have realized early on what I really wanted to do and focus on that. And whatever that is that you want to do, just make sure it's taking care of your bills and putting a roof over your head. The fourth thing is don't internalize other people's opinions and perceptions of you. Their opinions about you are based on their own beliefs, judgments, mindset, upbringing. Most of the time it's projection. So that's why it's very important to have self-confidence and self-awareness. So when anyone says anything about you online or offline, you won't internalize it. Because opinions are like a-holes. Everyone has one. The fifth thing is don't compare yourself to other people. Your journey is going to be different than the next person's journey. You might reach your destination much later than the next person. Also, you absolutely have no idea what they're going through behind the scenes. You go online and you see the houses, the cars, the family, the babies, all these things. You're like, oh my gosh, they're living just this great best life. But you have to also remember that everybody posts highlights of their life. And they're not posting all the downsides or the negatives or, the unpleasant areas of their life. You just don't have enough information on them to really know the truth of what's really going on. All you see are the positives and the highlights. Most people do not put all the struggles or suffering online. The sixth thing is don't let family, friends, peers, and society rush you into marriage and having kids. Me personally, I did have my kid in my 30s, but I would not change that for the world. I ain't even gonna lie. I like that I had my kid now versus my 20s. I feel like my 20s, I was still figuring life out, you know what I mean? But I feel like, to me personally, I feel like I had my kid at the right time in my 30s. What is for you will be for you at the right time. The universe has a way to align things when the time is right. The seventh thing is eat better food. Now, I know in the 20s, you have a high metabolism, you can eat whatever you want, but eventually that stuff will catch up to you. So in my 20s, I would have paid more attention to what I ate. I feel like I would have ate less junk food and less crazy stuff. I would have focused more on eating healthier because I was always on the go. I was eating this, I was eating that, I was always on the road, eating junk food, eating this, eating that, just basically a whole bunch of crap. And what you eat affects your hormones, it affects your energy, and it basically has side effects. The eighth thing is I wish I wouldn't have spent so much money on crap. I would have invested some of that money into like a savings or a business. So be careful with your money in your 20s because it can catch up to you when you get older. So invest your money wisely. The ninth thing is I wish I would have listened to my intuition more. There were situations or people I met and my gut feeling was telling me something and I just kind of ignored it because I was like, well, maybe I'm tripping or maybe I'm overreacting. But really and truly, eventually, but later on, my intuition happened to be right. I tried to ignore my intuition because I didn't want to make the other person feel comfortable or I didn't want to make the other person feel like I was being judgmental. But really and truly, you have to listen to your gut and your instinct because that's a form of protection. Never ignore your inner voice, your intuition, or your gut because that can get you caught up in situations that you don't want to be in. I feel like a lot of women get caught up because they ignore the intuition or they don't use discernment, and they get caught up in some situations. The 10th thing is I wish I would have listened and watched more of these kind of videos because I think I would have been better equipped and better prepared for certain situations that happened in my 20s. Probably would have made better decisions and choices. But overall, don't be too hard on yourself. The 20s is all about experiencing things, is all about learning things about yourself, is learning about what you do like and what you don't like. And it's just basically 20s is like a roller coaster. Don't be too hard on yourself. Like I said, just let life. Alright everyone, well that is it. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this video to anyone you know in your 20s. Subscribe and thanks for watching. Bye.